Hey guys, Aaron Teal here with Into Marine, and welcome to the Advantage Series. We're a multi-line dealer crazy about fishing. We carry Vexus, Phoenix, Camus, and Triton boats. And we're gonna take a real close look at these boats today. Let's get started. We're back. Today I'm standing in between the legacy of Forrest L. Wood, Randy Hopper, Keith Daffron, and so many more boat builders that have an absolute pile of experience building amazing boats. They're previously with Ranger. Now, they're innovating like nothing you've ever seen before. Specifically, I've got a Vexus VX21, I've got a white one and a black one. And I can tell you that there's not a bass boat like this, and it's truly something that we're gonna wanna take a close peek at. We're gonna walk you inside and out this thing, starting with the hull. You can't have any pudding until you eat your meat. Starting with the bow of this boat, one really cool aspect Vexus has incorporated into their hull is a recessed keel guard. So that's gonna protect the bottom of this boat, you know, when you're beaching it and whatnot. And specifically the chisel on this hull, and one of the aspects that gives it such a good ride is they're using a convex hull design versus concave, which we've seen in the past. And that concave will actually make that boat sink more in the waves, and that convex hull, it's a little bit more rounded chisel, really knocks the spray away. Combine that with chines that run all the way back here and that pickle fork front deck, and this is an absolute wave crushing chisel up here, designed to keep you comfortable and throw the waves back where they belong. That's the front chisel. Let's check out the rear. So coming to the back of this hull, this is not, you know, your standard run-of-the-mill hull. This hull is designed extremely good. Specifically, we've got a very long and wide running pad and a deeper dead rise on this boat. So you've got that pad or that V running from bow all the way to stern. So if you take a wave further towards the back of the boat, you're gonna find that this boat rides absolutely soft. Now, there's guys that talk about this boat being slow, and I hate to spoil your fun, but if there's 4-footers derby morning, this is the fastest hull on the water, hands down. So we gotta take that into consideration when we're talking speed. And this is a 68-mile-an-hour boat all day, tournament loaded. And it's 68 when there's 3- and 4-footers. And that's really where the magic is with this hull. And Vexus absolutely nailed it. Rough water hull, this is the poster child. Wind's blowing 20 out of the northwest. Who wants to race me? Hey, easy from the cheap seats over there. So another thing about the VX hull is the whole shot is absolutely insane. This is a spacious, big boat, and it's actually one of the fastest boats out of the hull that we carry. Reasons for that: weight distribution, balance point. They put that fuel cell in the floor longitudinally, so that's up there versus all the way in the back of the boat. Another thing that they're incorporating, this is absolutely awesome and innovative from Vexus. They're mounting power poles and shallow water anchors directly to the back of the boat. Now, you wouldn't think that make a huge difference, but when it comes to getting that boat out of the water, you don't have those brackets dragging a couple gallons with you. So you're gonna notice that this thing pops right up. You're gonna get less vibration in these power poles, so you don't have to work on your bushings or your bolts as much. And super clean as well. So some other attributes about the hull. When you're driving a boat, there's a lot of bass boats out there that can't do 25 miles an hour very good, right? Or, you know, they can't do X mile an hour very good. And there's dead spots in how that hull performs. Well, with this boat, there's absolutely zero. You can be driving on plane at 18 miles an hour, take your hands off the wheel, and have full control. It rides like an absolute barge and absolutely crushes waves, yet it handles super nimble like an Indy car. It's very impressive, and I highly recommend test driving this hull if you don't believe me. So before we hop inside the boats, I do want to touch on the fact that these boats are drop dead beautiful. And then there's a couple different paint options that they offer. And we're going to show you two here. We've got a standard polyflake gel coat option here on my left, and then which is kind of your standard pre-painted in the mold gel coat. And then we've got automotive paint over here on my right. So for an added option, Vexus will match your pickup truck down to the paint code, and they offer some beautiful vibrant colors right from the factory. You want that extra touch on the automotive, that's an option. They're also offering a two-tone now in the gel coats. If you want some extra lines or you want a little extra splash of silver in your black, they can do that over here. And specifically with the automotive, one of the cool aspects of it, along with the customizability, is it's not porous like gel coats. So they call it hard case paint. And what that means is it's not going to absorb deposits like mineral deposits and stuff, your water line stuff if you're fishing the river or some algae bloom lakes. So wiping the boat down becomes a lot easier, and it works just like your pickup truck. So if you actually accidentally, whiskey throttle it into a dock, you don't have to get held at gunpoint by a fiberglass shop, because an auto body shop can fix it. So really nice aspect there, and very beautiful boats. Let's hop in. Let's hop in. All right, walking up to this absolute warship. It's pretty obvious this front deck is huge, right? It looks like your average front deck, but it is not. And here's a few things about it. Specifically, they pad it up here, and then they're offering an EVA door here on this center latch. This is that high traffic area, so that carpet isn't getting as matted up right here. They're offering some awesome stuff from the factory. You notice, you knock around this boat, there's no plastic here. This is all heavy duty aluminum, heavy duty stuff, and they don't skimp out on any of those quality pieces. And you're gonna notice the fit and finish with this boat is truly one of a kind. With this bow panel here, you can flush mount up to a 12-inch unit, or else they offer a very sturdy, rigid aluminum dual stacker plate. So you want your live scope on top, no problem. GPS and sonar on the bottom, we can do that. Trim your motor up and down, nav lights built in right up here. Wide pickle fork front end here, so you can chuck that weed line with your buddy next to you and 10 rods strapped down, no problem. Flipping milfoil, dropping on boulders, whatever you gotta do, this gives you the space to do it. The boat sits like a rock, so you get weight up here and that boat isn't moving a lot. It absolutely sits great. And the Vexus, compared to other boats, is gonna sit higher out of the water. So if you like to sight fish, there is no better platform to see down into the lake, get you a pair of polarized glasses, you're good to go. Now, looking at this rod strap here, they really thought this through. We like to have a lot of rods strapped down, along with Brian Thrift and myself. And along with that, so they've got plenty of room for those on each side here. And then the lids on these storage lockers, they cut them and made them absolutely perfect. You've got a seam here, and then they angle that lid down. So if you needed to grab an extra rod, you're not chucking your rods overboard, having to say Mayday. What else you want to look at? Let's go. As far as sight fishing goes, you're gonna be up. Oh, you guys are calling already. So nice of you. You want a VX21, right? Now this boat can hold a pile of tackle, and we all carry a lot of tackle with us, a bunch of rapple crankbaits and whatnot, but what's really important is protecting that investment. And there's nothing worse than digging in your box and having water, sitting in your rapple box and having those hooks get rusty. Well, I can tell you that those days are over in the VX21, because they put the Hoover Dam in between these lockers here. King Tut didn't have a moat this big, and I'll show you what. The channels here between these lockers is about a ½ inch deeper than what we're seeing in the marketplace. And combine that with these rubber seals, an extra channel here, and they even put drains at the front of the locker. So if you got an angled driveway and it rains, that water's not pooling up front there. So that water, if it rains or if you're going through some mist, whatever the heck, that water ultimately gets into these channels. And when you have a deeper channel combined with a weather seal and a latch that presses that lid down, they're gonna be dry. Now, on the lids up top, these are made out of fiberglass. Now, most of these guys' competitors are using aluminum lids that will have a little bit of flex in them. These fiberglass lids, there's no flex in them. So when you stand on this, it's not bowing in on you. Along with that, you've got heavy duty gas pistons. So heavy duty stainless pistons. These aren't your cheaper ones. These are gonna last a heck of a lot longer. And once again, if it's raining, this area right here dries out really fast. So if you need to retie something and don't have your rain pants on yet, your butt's not getting as wet, just smart how they put this here. So you've got very easy access to everything. But what is everything? Let's look inside these boxes. Starting in the rod locker here, this thing is absolutely huge. I've seen 40 rods in this rod locker. One awesome aspect of this, of many, is they put this spot over here. So if you got your jerkbait rod, your topwater rod, combined with all your Chinese finger trap rod sleeves and whatnot, you're not getting tangled. You got easy access to that topwater plug when you see that smallmouth bust over yonder. And they build these out of fiberglass, so easy to keep clean. You don't have a treble hook hanging on the carpet, and you don't have to vacuum this out. Look at the next one. On these lids, they also incorporate a striker plate. So if you're a klutz like me and drop that latch, you're not gonna ding your gel coat up. Another thing is that latch will wear into the bottom here and eventually create less of a weatherproof seal. So they've also incorporated that on the bottom. So when you shut this lid, it's pressing that down and keeping your rods watertight and safe from whoever. Let's look in the tackle cage. So the thing you'll notice about Vexus, these things are very deep boxes, and probably the best word for them is versatile or ambidextrous. So this center box here, you can store rods, tackle, or both. The box is deep enough where you can stack 3700s all throughout this, and then you've got a top rod tree here where you can put those rods in up over it, or you can throw 40 rods in this box and absolutely load this with your tackle system. They put a divider down the middle. It's a deep box, so fit big box of swim baits, about 50 gallons of plastics, about 30,000 Rapalas, whatever the heck you want to put in your boat, this thing will fit it. So big heavy duty fiberglass lid. Shut that and check out this side. I'm gonna call this a 3-day box. You've got a box good to go with stuff for 3 days. Lots of versatility here. And then this box up here, this will even fit a spinning pole. I can't remember the size. We'll maybe look at the measurements here soon. So awesome front deck design, heavy duty stuff, no cheapness here, all quality. Now, along with pressing down on that seal, these are heavy duty stainless latches. So there's no plastic in this latch to break and wear and tear over time. And these locks are really nice compared to some of the other ones. So it's easy to lock your stuff up at night, and really nice aspect of that. So like, this is the front deck. There's a few words to describe it. It's huge, huge, and really nice overall. The cockpit doesn't get much different. This spot right here, it's a great spot to rig, and you've got tool holders right here in this midsection. This is where we do our calling. All kinds of business happens here. And with that, you need easy access to things. Well, they've incorporated just an epic pull-out drawer here that allows you to put things that you need to get to quickly, right? So you got, you know, a spot for jig heads. You got a lure hanger. You know, you can keep your scale, your lure die, those bags of Senkos, whatever the heck you want. And what's nice, they put a slam latch on this. So easy to shut, easy to open. And the cockpit here, it's spacious, but not too spacious where you can't get around. So you'll notice they designed this boat to be able to walk from the front deck to the back deck without stepping on the cockpit floor. So you're really, when you hook a big one in a derby, don't tell me pandemonium don't happen. It's pandemonium. You gotta get around and net your buddy's fish or whatever the heck, or get out of somebody's way, usually it seems like. So this really helps you not break something down here like the net or, you know, an extra cull tag as you're walking to the back. Coming down in the cockpit, you're gonna have a really nice ambidextrous rod area for your passenger. They've even indented this on the back deck portion, so your rods aren't laying on 90, you know, teeter-tottering waiting to break. Another thing, you've got really nice legroom here. You can brace up and really good grab handles. So this kind of reminds me of driving like a 3/4 ton Chevy. These rails are kind of right where they're supposed to be. And also gives you something to grab onto. You can tie off to the dock, and another handle here. And I use these boats like crazy, and sometimes if you're a derby fisherman, we're using them a week at a time. And if you're out practicing in the heat, it's really nice to be able to keep ice. Now, no one's done this before. I just want to note that. No one's done this before. I can fit 20 pounds of ice in this cooler, and it lasts pretty near a week. Along with that, it's also got a sandwich tray or a spot that gets your stuff away from the ice. So if you're keeping, you can keep a week's worth of food and ice and all of that in here, all in one spot. It's easy to access. You can grab things and go. And this sandwich shelf here, this is kind of like a nice glove box area. So that's gonna stay out of that ice, out of that stuff. They even put a heavy duty gas piston on the cooler for you. Here at the cockpit, very spacious. We've got our airwave pedestals in here, so that chisel is landing soft. If I come off a wave wrong, we still riding on air. And when you drive this boat, there's not a lick of vibration in the steering wheel. This console is absolutely rock solid. Rock solid. And it's truly a unique driving experience with this console. There's no vibration. You've got good access to your gauges. They do offer a dual unit option, very rigid, just like the bow mount, or you can flush mount up to a 15-inch unit, I think maybe even a 16. So another thing, everybody's going digital nowadays. Digital this, digital screen over here to run your live well pumps and all that, and that's all well and good, but it has to work. And I really like what Vexus did here. They used, these are elevator switches, very rock solid switching here on the dash panel with individual fuses. So, you know, a lot of those digital panels, they will have just one fuse connection. So you blow out one fuse, you lose everything. Your fish are dying. It's not good, right? So this one really allows you to isolate the issue if you were to pop a fuse or a breaker, and you don't lose everything. So you can order this boat, another thing, you can order this boat with a keypad or just the regular key, depending if you go with the Victor package or not. You know, won't get into the weeds there. But really just awesome cockpit design, very spacious, nimble, agile, versatile, and dual lever trim. And the steering wheel, she's wrapped with Italian leather, baby. So it's got that extra good quality feel, and there's just no cheap stuff in this boat. I encourage you guys to come check it out. But wanna look at the back deck? Let's do it. So I probably should have put the net in before we started the video, but at least it's not tournament morning. So Vexus has an awesome net storage design. I'll just show it to you here. You don't have to collapse your net anymore in the boat. This thing rides absolutely stable all day. So your buddy lands a fish, you're not tripping over the net to grab it because you can keep it out of the way, but easy to access. So you need to net that fish, you're ready to go Kobayashi on it. So it stores up this way or this way, and what's awesome is you don't need to keep your net folded up. Haven't seen that before. Live wells. This is where you keep the goods, right? So this is a unique live well design. It's called the Intensive Care Live Well System. And with that, they put a heavy duty gas piston on the live well for you. Some really nice access doors here with zero gravity hinges. And this live well, it's designed with a full feature. So you can actually set the level of water in this live well. So if you've got a long run across rough water, you can set it to full. And that water will come up to the brim of this live well and put those fish in a neutrally buoyant environment. So you don't have water sloshing, beating them up. These fish, they go under a lot of stress, and Vexus definitely had it in mind to take care of them. Now, there's one important aspect of this. You do not want to leave it on the full feature all day, because that can kill your fish. So it's important that you're using it at normal levels most of the day and only set it to full when you're on a long run. You do that, you're weighing a live, heavy fish all year long. Awesome live well here. They've got remote switches for that, so you're able to control all that at the cockpit. And your co-angler is gonna thank you in this Vexus, because he's got plenty of room for all of his tackle. These are, I think, I'll be curious when we do measurements, but I think these are the biggest rear storage boxes we carry. They're putting water evacuation into those with this channel here, along with deeper lips. On a lot of these boxes, they don't think this through sometimes, and water can get pooled up along this back one and get into these rear boxes. So it's really nice they put that in there. And these are very deep, so you can stack 3700s the tall way and an absolute pile of them. So, you know, if you're a co-angler and or you're a driver and your buddy brings way too much stuff, you'll thank me later. Same thing on this side. Huge box, massive storage, and the perfect size rear deck. The balance point and just how everything's thought out with this boat is really nice. You've got heavy duty everything all throughout the boat. And this rear box opens so that when you need to work on the boat, a lot of times you're in it. So if you have an issue, what's nice is this box opens up so it's easy to access from in the boat. A lot of guys don't like that certain boxes will open this way and they got to tuck around it or feel like they're, you know, straddling the outboard trying to, you know, do a battery issue or something. Along with that, they put a striker plate on here, heavy duty gas piston, and they brought this to the forefront here, and other companies are starting to do this too, but they're putting your switches in an easy to access spot. So when you're done after a long day bouncing in waves, if you're on Tonka taking barge wakes all day and you don't want to climb back into this chariot, you just got to open the lid and turn your switch off. So easy access there. You got room for power pole pumps, 4 batteries, chargers, everything you need here. And then a nice charging spot back here, along with remote drain plugs. So, you know, closing this boat down at the end of the day is walk in the park. So along with a wireless kill switch to turn your boat on and off at the end of the day, start and whatnot, another aspect I wanted to talk about, big advantage with Vexus boats, is their trailers. They're made in-house, so this custom trailer is built to fit your custom boat absolutely perfectly. Not to mention it's the same company as the boat, so you only have to work with less people now. That's good, right? Along with that, different axles here. Most trailers are using leaf springs. Vexus is using a torsion axle, so you're going to notice less noise and stuff when you're turning this and going down the highway. It's a very quiet and smooth trailer to tow, and you can really tell it's custom built for this boat. Along with that, they're using a sea channel. So up in Minnesota here we have salt and we like to fish, which means that trailer's got water, it causes rust eventually. So that sea channel doesn't hold that water. And then they use a very rugged paint that's UV resistant. So the sun's not beating down on that and causing a gray trailer with your black boat hull thing that kind of just cheapens things up. So along with that, they're using heavy duty trailer jacks and winches, so no skimping out there. They do offer an added option for a trailer parking brake if you're into that sort of thing, and block of wood works too. Beautiful custom matching fenders and 17-inch rim standard, baby. We throwing D's on it. This is the chrome option here. This white boat over here has the smoke gray option. It's my personal favorite. And then they offer smoking hot red rims if you're into that too. So really cool wheel options from Vexus, not offered anywhere else. Combine that with a custom match trailer for your boat, bolt buckle tie-downs, you're good to go fishing. Thanks for sticking with us, because we're getting into the fun stuff now. So we're going to talk about the materials they use to build these boats and the process they use with these materials to build something truly unique in the bass boat segment and a breath of fresh air. So the materials, they cost more, they're nicer. Your typical boat, most boats being made right now are made with this here. This is called woven vinyl, and they're built in an open mold environment. So they'll, you know, paint the boat, they'll lay this down, and then they'll typically put a chopper gun and they'll roll that down by hand. And you know, that's all fine and good, but what you end up getting is a lot of imperfections in the boat due to you've got only an X and a Y axis on this woven. Well, what Vexus is using with their boats is spaceship good stuff. It's some absolutely aircraft type technology here. This is just gonna be a much more tight-knit weave, and it's gonna hold its form a lot better when resin's applied to it. But they're not hand rolling this resin on, and this isn't your typical smelly, can't breathe in the factory type of boat shop. They're truly not only innovating how boats are being built, but the factory workers too, they get to work in a much cleaner environment, because these boats are built with a closed mold setting versus open. So what does that mean? That means you got a mold, they're putting a vacuum bag over it, laying that glass, and they're pulling that resin through the fiberglass via vacuum suction versus rolling it on by hand. Now, your typical boat has 60% resin, 40% fiberglass, and it's the resin that cracks, and it's the resin that adds weight, and it's the resin is where there's a lot of imperfections. Well, Vexus has cured that to have a virtually perfect digitized hull. So every hull going down the line is within 5 pounds of each other. That's error, and you know, that's tolerances we're not used to seeing. What they're doing is they're reversing that. So there's a lot, like, it's the fiberglass that has the strength. So they're using 60% fiberglass, 40% resin. So the ratio is better. What does that equate to? A lighter, stronger, better performing, longer lasting product. And that's truly something unique in the marketplace, and better materials, better process, better bass boats. You get it. So it wouldn't be an Advantage series without some measurements. So we're gonna start at the front deck here, and we're gonna measure the width. All right, so at the back of the trolling motor pedal here, I've got 62 inches. Going into the length here. And this kind of sticks out a little bit further, so I'm gonna give you two measurements, the mid locker and the side locker. So I've got 96 inches here to the edge of this center door. And then 112 inches to this edge right here. This cockpit is huge. I'm gonna give you two measurements that way too. One from here, one from here. Oh, I'll get good at this one of these years. All right, so from here to here, I've got 56 and a half. And then from right here, well, if there's any general contractors, you're probably not hiring me with these tape measure skills today. Okay, 71 inches from there to there. And on the back deck here, 46 inches. Sorry, honey, is that enough room? We're good. Rod storage, Back storage, these boxes are deeper than your deepest smallmouth lives. We've got 13 inches to the bottom of the lip, 15 inches to below the seal. 3700 is the tall way. Going in the center box here. I've got 17 inches or 18 inches to the top of the lip, 15 and a half to the bottom of that lip. Whack them and stack them in there. And then in the rod box, it's a little bit, this one's got a little bit of an angle to it. So I'm gonna measure kind of the deeper portion in the back here. I've got 15, we'll call it 15 and a half inches. And then up at the front, where the tips go, I've got 11 inches. So very deep boxes for all your stuff. This is a company with a great story, over 1,000 years combined experience building bass boats, and it shows with one of the most innovative bass boat we've seen to date. This is the Advantage series. This is the VX21 from Vexus Boats. I'm Aaron Teal, and we'll see you at the lake. You can do another one if you want.
I thought that was good.
Yeah. If you're a bass fisherman and you don't subscribe to this channel right now, are you even a bass fisherman?
Bro, let me out.
It's watertight, airtight too. Another thing with the whole shot, and I'm not allowed to talk about this, but if you call us, we might tell you. It's this right here. I know it seems weird. Call us, maybe we'll tell you. A little bit of secret sauce.